We're joined now by Ramin Setoodeh to talk about the very controversial Kennedy miniseries. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. So it's finally found a home. But before we discuss that, I want to back up a bit. It originally was supposed to debut on the History Channel.
It was supposed to, the History Channel actually commissioned it. They paid for most of the production. It cost about $25 million. And suddenly, out of the blue, they said that it didn't fit in once they saw the final product. They said it didn't fit in with their brand and that they weren't airing it. And it created this entire sort of, a lot of panic and a lot of, reports in the media, and everyone was just wondering what was wrong with the movie to prevent the History Channel from airing it.
There's speculation that they received a lot of pressure from the Kennedy family. Do you believe that?
There's some reports that the Kennedy family was unhappy with it. The early script that leaked actually makes a lot of the characters come off as, a little bit of a caricature. It's very over the top. It's not necessarily flattering. We're never going to really know what led the History Channel to pull it, but I do think there may have been a little bit of pressure from the Kennedy family.
There were reports that the early script that was leaked was reviewed by historians who said a lot of this is just not accurate.
Right. Well, that always happens, though. Whenever you have a work of historical fiction, historians always, find something that's not accurate. Sort of watching it now, it's 8 hours long. I've watched the first 5 hours. Most of what's in the movie, is true and it's accurate. John F. Kennedy's father, Joe, sort of is very over the top, very manipulative. He kind of comes off as this Karl Rove figure. And so I think there were a lot of objections over his portrayal, the portrayal of that character.
Give us a little bit more of an indication, since you have seen the first 5 hours. How do you think it's going so far?
I don't really feel the need to watch hours 6, 7, and 8. It's not very good. It's not, the acting is a little bit cheesy. It's watchable, but it's not great TV. It drags at some parts, and I don't think Katie Holmes really has the gravitas to pull off Jackie Kennedy.
So is this going to really hurt these A-listers' careers?
I think there's a chance, they're going to be associated with this movie, and it's a made-for-TV movie that couldn't even be on TV. Nobody really wanted to pick it up, so it's not good for their career, especially Katie Holmes, who's been looking to find the right project for the last few years.
And we're talking about a $25 million project here, right?
It is. It's an expensive project. Reelz Channel paid $7 million for the rights to air it. And, I think they'll probably make its money back when you look at overseas distribution and, DVD sales. But they're certainly not going to make a lot of money off of it.
Do you think Reelz Channels was competing with other networks and channels to really acquire the miniseries?
Well, from what I've read, not really, because everybody passed on it. HBO passed on it. Showtime passed on it. I think I even read a report that said TNT passed on it. So I think Reelz is really the last stop.
And why do you think so many people passed on it?
Because I don't think they thought they could make money off of it. They're not even, when you look at sort of the ad sales right now, they're having trouble selling advertising against it as well, because a lot of advertisers don't want to be associated with it. They think it's too controversial, and they're not quite sure who's going to be watching it.
So bottom line, was this just not a smart move for Reelz Channel?
I think it's not a bad move for them. They've gotten a lot of free publicity. I mean, before today, most people weren't really talking about the Reelz Channel. So they got a lot of publicity, and viewership, I think, is going to go up. But, I don't think it's a quality kind of miniseries. I don't think it's going to get nominated for Emmys, and it's going to be, I don't think it's going to get a lot of respect.
Bryce, any questions for Ramin? Well, thank you very much for joining us in the chat room this morning.
Thanks a lot.
It was
I appreciate it.
Pleasure having you.
Sure, thanks.